Have you ever caught yourself in that endless loop of distraction where the world pulls you in a dozen directions at once? Picture this. You grab your phone for a quick glance at a notification. Maybe it's just a text from a friend or a like on your latest post. And suddenly, half an hour vanishes into the black hole of scrolling. Or you settle into your chair, determined to tackle that important work or study session, only for your thoughts to drift like autumn leaves in the wind. What should I make for dinner? Did I reply to that email? Oh, look, a new video recommendation. Before you know it, the day's productivity has evaporated, leaving you frustrated and exhausted. If this sounds familiar, take a breath. It's not a sign of some deep-seated flaw like ADHD or laziness. No, it's the reality of our hyper-connected world, a relentless barrage of pings, pop-ups, and possibilities that hijack our attention at every turn. Back in the days of our ancestors, this scattered focus wasn't a curse, it was a lifeline. Imagine roaming the savannas or dense forests where survival demanded constant vigilance. A rustle in the bushes could mean a predator. A distant cry, a call for help. That fragmented attention kept humanity alive through millennia of threats. But fast forward to today, and it's turned against us. In an era of infinite information, our brains are drowning in stimuli. Emails piling up, social media feeds refreshing endlessly, news alerts blaring doom. Our focus leaks away like sand through fingers, and the cost is steep. Researchers at the University of California crunched the numbers and found that after even a single interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes, nearly half an hour, to reclaim your full concentration. 23 minutes. Now, multiply that by the dozens of times you glance at your phone, switch tabs, or let your mind wander during a typical day. It's no wonder we're all feeling scattered, unproductive, and quietly desperate. But what if there was a way to reclaim that power? A method to train your mind to dive so deeply into a task that distractions fade into oblivion, leaving only you and the moment? This isn't some flashy app or productivity hack peddled by a self-help guru on social media. No, this wisdom hails from the serene halls of ancient Zen monasteries in Japan, a practice known as Ichigyo-Zammai. Translated, it means one practice, complete immersion, the art of devoting yourself wholly to a single action, as if nothing else exists. Rooted in Zen Buddhism, it's not about rigid discipline or superhuman willpower. It's about harmony, presence, and becoming one with what you're doing. In the coming story, we'll explore how this timeless technique transformed one ordinary teenager's life, backed by modern science that proves its potency. But before we dive in, let's pause for a moment of reflection. What's stealing your focus right now? Is it the siren call of your smartphone, the endless scroll of social media, or perhaps the restless chatter of your own thoughts? Share in the comments below. Your honesty might just spark a connection with someone else facing the same battle. Now, let's step into the heart of our tale. Chapter 1. The Weight of a Dream. Deferred Jake Morrison was just 16, teetering on the edge of adolescence and adulthood, when the harsh truth hit him like a cold wave crashing over his head. He was losing. Not in some dramatic life or death sense, but in the quiet, grinding race of everyday existence. Jake wasn't dumb. Far from it. He had a knack for unraveling complex problems in math, a curiosity that lit up when he tinkered with physics experiments, and a budding passion for programming that made him dream of coding the next big innovation. But potential alone doesn't pay the bills or open doors. The real issue? Focus. Or rather, the complete lack of it. It started innocently enough, as these things often do. Jake would crack open his textbook, pencil in hand, ready to conquer calculus. But within minutes, his phone would buzz, a harmless Instagram notification, perhaps a meme from a friend. He'd tell himself, just a quick peek. And poof, 20 minutes gone, lost in a vortex of likes, stories, and envy-inducing posts. Or he'd boot up his laptop for a study session, only to find himself sidetracked by fantasies. What if he landed a spot at MIT, the holy grail of tech minds? He'd visualize the sprawling campus in Cambridge, the brilliant professors, the late-night coding marathons with fellow geniuses. But those daydreams were thieves, robbing him of the present. The calculus problems remained unsolved. The physics homework a blank slate. Jake's dream wasn't small. He wanted MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a place where legends were forged, where the likes of Tim Berners-Lee and Buzz Aldrin had walked the halls. It was audacious, terrifying, and utterly intoxicating. But his reality was a far cry from that vision. His report cards told a tale of mediocrity, C's in math, B's in science, just enough to scrape by but nowhere near the stellar grades demanded by MIT's admissions gods. His friends, a ragtag group of high schoolers more interested in video games and weekend parties, didn't help. They'd rib him mercilessly during lunch breaks or after class. "Yo, Jake," one would say with a smirk, "you seriously think you're MIT material? You can't even nail a B in trig, man. You'll be slinging fries at McDonald's while the rest of us are out changing the world." They'd erupt in laughter, slapping high fives, oblivious to the way each jab landed like a dagger in Jake's chest. He laughed along on the outside, had to save face, but inside, it burned. A knot of shame twisted in his gut, hot and unrelenting. And then there were his parents. They weren't the villains in this story. Far from it. His mom, a nurse with weary eyes from long shifts, and his dad, a mechanic whose hands were perpetually stained with grease, loved him fiercely. They saw the spark in him, the raw intelligence that could carry him far beyond their modest suburban home. But love sometimes wears the mask of pressure. "Jake, honey," his mom would say over dinner, her voice soft but edged with concern, "you've got so much potential. We know you do, but you have to buckle down. Stop letting those distractions pull you away. This is your future we're talking about." His dad would nod, adding, "Son, life's not going to hand you anything. You've got to grab it. Focus, Jake. Take it seriously." Jake knew they were right. He felt it in his bones, the untapped reservoir of ability just waiting to be unleashed. But every time he tried, his mind betrayed him. It was like wrestling a wild animal. One moment he'd be locked in, the next, he'd be lost in reverie, scripting out triumphant futures while the present slipped away. He'd imagine the roar of applause at his MIT graduation, the proud tears in his parents' eyes, the apologetic texts from his doubting friends. Hours wasted in these mental movies, the math book gathering dust, the assignments piling up like unspoken regrets. The breaking point came on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. Jake's calculus test was handed back, the red D+ scrawled at the top like an accusation. He stared at it in the dim light of the classroom, the paper trembling in his hands. The bell rang, students shuffled out, but Jake stayed rooted to his seat, a storm brewing inside. Tears pricked his eyes, not just from failure, but from the exhaustion of it all. Tired of being average, of letting down the people who believed in him, of watching his dream fade like a distant horizon. That night, alone in his room with the rain pattering against the window, Jake hit rock bottom. But instead of surrendering to despair, a spark of defiance ignited. He wouldn't give up, not yet. He needed help, real help, and he knew exactly where to find it. Chapter 2. The Quiet Wisdom of Mr. Tanaka. The next day dragged on like any other, classes blurring into a haze of lectures and laughter, but Jake's resolve held firm. As the final bell echoed through the halls, he made his way to the teacher's lounge, heart pounding in his chest. Mr. Tanaka was there, as always, poring over a stack of papers with the serene focus of a monk in meditation. In his mid-50s, with salt and pepper hair and wire-rimmed glasses, Mr. Tanaka exuded an aura of calm that commanded respect without a word. Born in Japan and raised in the traditions of his heritage, he never raised his voice in class. A single glance was enough to silence chaos. Students whispered that he practiced some ancient art, but to Jake, he was just the math teacher who saw through excuses. Jake knocked softly on the open door. "Mr. Tanaka, can I talk to you for a minute?" The teacher looked up, his dark eyes warm and perceptive. He removed his glasses, folding them neatly, and motioned to the chair across from him. "Of course, Jake. Come in, sit. What's on your mind?" Jake sank into the seat, the words tumbling out in a rush, raw and unfiltered. "Sir, I don't know what to do anymore. I want to get better, my grades, everything. I've got this dream of becoming a software engineer, maybe even at MIT. But I can't focus. I sit down to study, and it's like my brain explodes into a million pieces. Notifications, daydreams, everything pulls me away. My grades suck because of it, and I'm stuck in this loop of trying and failing. I feel like I'm letting everyone down, including myself." Mr. Tanaka listened without interruption, his face a mask of quiet empathy. When Jake finished, the room fell silent for a beat, the only sound the distant hum of the school's air conditioning. Then, a small smile curved the teacher's lips, not pitying, but knowing, as if Jake had voiced a secret he'd long carried himself. "Jake," Mr. Tanaka said gently, leaning forward, "may I ask you something? When you study, how many browser tabs do you keep open on your computer?" Jake blinked, caught off guard. I don't know, maybe 10? 15 on a bad day. And your phone? Where is it during these sessions?" "Right next to me, notifications on, just in case." Mr. Tanaka nodded. "And do you find yourself juggling thoughts, planning your next move, replaying past conversations, while trying to work?" How did you know?" Jake stammered, his eyes widening. The teacher's smile deepened. "Because I was you once. Growing up in Kyoto, I struggled the same way. My mind was a whirlwind, always leaping ahead or lingering behind. Schoolwork suffered, dreams felt impossible. Until my grandfather, a Zen practitioner, shared a lesson that reshaped my world." Jake leaned in, intrigue cutting through his despair. "What was it?" Mr. Tanaka reached for a notepad, scrawling 2 words in elegant script. Ichigyo-Zammai. He slid it across the desk. "Ichigyo-Zammai?" Jake pronounced slowly, mangling it slightly. "Close," Mr. Tanaka chuckled. Ichigyo-Zammai. It's a Zen Buddhist principle meaning one thing at a time, with full immersion. It's not mere concentration, Jake. It's unity. When you engage in a task, you become it. No division between self and action. Studying math, You are the math, flowing through equations as if they solve themselves. Jake furrowed his brow, trying to grasp it. So, like, just focusing really hard? More than that, Mr. Tanaka explained, his voice steady like a calm river. Recall a time you lost yourself in a video game? Hours vanishing without notice? Yeah, Jake admitted. All the time. I'd start playing after dinner, and suddenly, it's midnight. That's flow state. Ichigyo-Zammai teaches you to summon it deliberately, in any pursuit. And yes, science backs it. Neuroscience calls it mindfulness. Studies show it thickens the prefrontal cortex, sharpening attention control. He pulled a folder from his drawer, filled with printed articles, dense with graphs, brain scans, and citations. Here, research blending Zen practices with behavioral science. Read them, apply the principles, and report back. But remember, Jake, this isn't magic. It's practice. Jake took the papers, his fingers tingling with a mix of nerves and excitement. As he stood to leave, Mr. Tanaka placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. You have the fire within you, Jake. Learn to channel it, and the path will open. That evening, under the warm glow of his desk lamp, Jake dove into the materials. The words leaped off the pages, illuminating truths he'd never considered. Chapter 3, Awakening the Ritual. Sleep eluded Jake that night, his mind buzzing not with distractions, but with revelation. The articles painted a vivid picture of the brain's inner workings. Each switch between tasks, checking a text, opening a new tab, demanded a cognitive reset, burning precious energy. Over time, this trained the mind toward fragmentation, like grooves worn into a path by constant footfall. But the brain was plastic, adaptable. Practices like Ichigyo-Zammai could rewire it, forging new neural highways for sustained focus. One piece detailed the Pomodoro method infused with Zen, 25-minute bursts of undivided attention, followed by short, mindful breaks. No screens, just breath, movement, presence. Another explored choice architecture, redesigning your space to banish temptations. Phone silenced in another room, desktop cleared, environment sculpted for success. Deeper still, Ichigyo-Zammai transcended productivity. It was a philosophy of oneness. Zen monks embodied it in every act, sweeping floors with the devotion of prayer, eating meals as sacred rituals. A proverb echoed in Jake's mind. When I eat, I eat. When I sleep, I sleep. Simple, yet profound. How often had he shoveled food while scrolling, or tossed in bed replaying arguments? Modern life glorified multitasking, but it bred shallowness, diluting presence until life became a blur. When distractions arose, and they would, the key wasn't combat, but gentle acknowledgement. Ah, my mind wanders, then a soft return to the now. No self-flagellation, just compassionate redirection, like guiding a child back to play. By dawn, Jake's perspective had shifted. He wasn't broken, he'd simply never been taught. Armed with this, he vowed change. Monday afternoon, back from school, Jake transformed his room into a sanctuary. He stashed his phone in the kitchen drawer, out of sight. Notifications? Silenced across devices. Browser? One tab only, loaded with calculus notes. He set a timer for 25 minutes, closed his eyes, and drew 3 deep breaths. Inhale, filling his lungs with resolve. Exhale, releasing doubt. The session began. The first 5 minutes were torture. His brain rebelled. Just check one message. What's the harm? Itchiness crept in, urging him to fidget, to escape. But he remembered. Observe. Don't fight. My mind wants to flee, he noted silently, then refocused on the equation before him. 10 times he did this, each pullback a small victory. The second Pomodoro eased, distractions dimmed to whispers. By the third, something magical happened. Immersion. Time dissolved. Equations flowed like music, insights sparking unbidden. When the timer chimed at 75 minutes, Jake surfaced, dazed. He'd covered more ground than in weeks of half-hearted efforts. A rush surged through him. Empowerment, control, hope. The ritual became sacred. Each day, phone away, space cleared, breaths taken, dive in. He extended Ichigyo-Zammai beyond study, to meals savored bite by bite, conversations held with undivided gaze, walks where he noticed the rustle of leaves, the play of sunlight on pavement. Life, once autopilot drudgery, awakened in vibrant detail. His friends sensed the shift. At lunch, one prodded, "Dude, you're like a ghost lately. No more hanging out? Everything cool?" Jake met his eyes, present. "Better than cool. I'm chasing something real now. You'll see." They shrugged, puzzled, but Jake felt no need to explain. For the first time, he was authoring his story, not dreaming it. The true test came with the next math exam. Seated in the quiet classroom, pencil poised, Jake breathed deeply. Ichigyo-Zammai. He wasn't a student battling questions. He was the process unfolding. Time blurred. Answers emerged with clarity. A week later, tests returned. Jake's heart raced as he flipped the page. An A+, bold and undeniable. Across the room, Mr. Tanaka caught his eye, nodding with that knowing smile. Jake's chest swelled, not just with pride, but gratitude. This was no fluke. It was the dawn of transformation. Chapter 4. The Ascent, Trials and Triumphs. The months that followed were a whirlwind, a roller coaster of highs laced with inevitable dips. Jake's commitment to Ichigyo-Zammai deepened, but life didn't yield easily. There were days when old habits clawed back, a stressful week where distractions won, leaving him staring at unfinished homework, doubt whispering, "Who are you kidding?" But he learned to treat setbacks as teachers. Observe and return, he'd remind himself, resetting with renewed vigor. His grades climbed steadily, a testament to consistency. Physics, A. Chemistry, A-. Programming, straight A, his code elegant and error-free. His parents noticed first. Over a family dinner one evening, his mom set down her fork, eyes misty. "Jake, what's gotten into you? These report cards, they're incredible." "Just figured out how to focus, Mom," he said, hugging her. "Thanks for believing in me." His dad clapped him on the back, voice gruff with emotion. "Proud of you, son. Keep it up." But Jake had unearthed a deeper truth. Discipline wasn't brute force. It was architecture. Systems, rituals, environments made success inevitable. Distractions weren't enemies but signals. Fatigue, boredom, fear. By partnering with his mind, he turned obstacles into allies. As senior year loomed, MIT applications beckoned. Friends still scoffed. Improved? Sure. But MIT? Come on, man. Thousands of geniuses get shut out every year. Jake smiled, unfazed. "I know the odds, but I'll give it everything, one step at a time." He applied Ichigyo-Zammai to prep. SATs tackled in focused blocks, essays crafted with immersive care, projects built line by line. No multitasking, pure presence. 6 months later, on a crisp autumn afternoon, the email arrived. Jake's hands shook as he opened it. "Congratulations, Jake Morrison. You have been admitted to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology." He read it thrice, disbelief giving way to joy. A primal yell escaped him, echoing through the house. His parents rushed in, faces etched with worry, then elation as he shared the news. His mom wept openly, pulling him into a fierce embrace. His dad, eyes shining, murmured, "You did it, kid." But amid the celebration, Jake felt profound thanks. Not just for the acceptance, but for the mastery of attention. It was the key to everything. Chapter 5. Forging Ahead. From campus to career, MIT was a revelation and a trial. The campus buzzed with intellect, towering brick buildings, labs humming with innovation, students from every corner of the globe. But the demands were ferocious. Endless assignments, cutthroat competition, nights blurring into dawns. Many cracked under the pressure, succumbing to burnout or distraction. Jake, however, held an edge. Ichigyo-Zammai. His daily ritual anchored him, room tidied, distractions exiled, breaths centering him before plunging in. In algorithms class, he became the code. In group projects, he listened with full presence, elevating collaborations. Professors took note. "Jake, your precision is remarkable," one said after a presentation. "You catch details others miss." "Because attention is everything," Jake replied inwardly. Talent mattered, but consistency conquered. He wasn't the flashiest student, no prodigy dazzling with innate brilliance, but his steady grind, 4 years of immersed effort, yielded honors at graduation. Diploma in hand, amid cheers and tossed caps, Jake reflected, no finish line, only the path. Post-grad, he landed a junior programmer role at a Silicon Valley startup. The tech world was relentless. Tight deadlines, evolving code bases, team dynamics. Colleagues juggled coffee-fueled all-nighters, but Jake thrived on focus. Each line of code received undivided care. Meetings saw him fully engaged, ideas flowing. Promotions followed. Full-stack developer in 2 years, senior in 3, team lead by 28. Peers marveled. "What's your hack, Jake?" one asked during a lunch break. "No hack," he said honestly. "Just presence. One thing at a time, full immersion. It changes everything." He began sharing Ichigyo-Zammai, workshops for his team, casual chats over coffee. Results mirrored his own. Average performers soared. Stressed minds found clarity. Jake wasn't exceptional by birth. He'd simply mastered what most overlooked: attention's dominion over destiny. Chapter 6. The Neural Alchemy. Science meets Zen. Skeptical? Wondering if this is mere inspiration or grounded truth? Let's peel back the layers with science. Harvard neuroscientists, in peer-reviewed studies, have shown that mindfulness practices like Ichigyo-Zammai boost gray matter density in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's command center for focus, planning, and impulse control. Your mind literally reshapes itself, growing stronger with each session. Stanford research adds, focused attention slashes activity in the default mode network by up to 40%. That wandering web responsible for daydreams, regrets, and distractions. It's like dimming a noisy room, allowing clarity to emerge. Renowned neuroplasticity expert Dr. Elena Vasquez, in a recent interview, explained, "The brain is malleable clay. Consistent attention training forges robust circuits, turning faint trails into expressways. Each redirection from distraction is a rep in your mental gym." Pair this with Pomodoro. Time-blocked immersion, proven in fields from coding to writing. It's not mysticism, it's biology. But Ichigyo-Zammai's gift extends beyond output. It's life amplification. How many meals have you devoured without savoring? Conversations half heard? Moments lost to mental fog? Presence awakens it all. Flavors burst, bonds deepen, joy multiplies. Studies link mindfulness to soaring happiness, not from accumulation, but appreciation of the now. Today, Jake thrives as team lead, but his true victory is internal. From that distracted teen to a man of purpose, he's proof. Master attention, master life. Success isn't more hours, it's deeper ones. Not superior smarts, fuller presence. If this stirs something in you, dive deeper, explore, apply, transform. Be here now, one action, fully. That's the path to true power.